Imagine yourself in the freezing silence of the Himalayas, where the wind cuts like blades and snow covers every step. Now picture a massive figure, nearly 8 feet tall, covered in thick white or grayish fur. Its broad shoulders resemble those of a gorilla, but its upright stance hints at something more human. This is the Yeti, also known as the Abominable Snowman, one of the most persistent and intriguing legends ever told. The first major mention of the Yeti in the Western world came in 1921, when a British expedition to Mount Everest reported finding enormous footprints far larger than any humans. These tracks in the snow sparked both fascination and fear. Since then, tourists, climbers, and local residents have claimed to see the creature, always describing the same thing: a towering being with a piercing gaze, moving with surprising agility along the icy slopes. One of the most famous cases occurred in 1951, when mountaineer Eric Shipton photographed strange tracks on the Menlung Glacier. At the time, the image spread like wildfire, becoming one of the most talked about pieces of evidence ever. Scientists, however, remain skeptical. Many believe the tracks belong to bears or other common animals, their prints distorted by melting and refreezing snow. But hey race, what keeps the mystery alive over the decades? Dozens of accounts have surfaced from different eras and places, all eerily similar in their descriptions. Is it just coincidence? Or perhaps, hidden among the white shadows of the mountains, the Yeti is still there watching, just waiting for the right moment to be discovered. Now imagine yourself on a ship, sailing through icy, silent waters. The surface seems calm until something below begins to move. Suddenly, enormous tentacles rise, wrapping around the hull with enough force to drag any vessel into the depths. This is the most common image of the Kraken, one of the most feared and legendary sea creatures in maritime lore. The Kraken is described as a colossal monster with tentacles stretching for dozens of feet, strong enough to sink entire ships. Its origins trace back to Nordic sailors' tales of a sea demon capable of creating massive whirlpools as it moved, swallowing everything nearby. The first known written mention comes from Norwegian accounts in the 13th century, and since then, the legend has spread throughout Europe. One of the most famous reports came in the 18th century, when Danish Bishop Erik Pontoppidan described, in his Natural History of Norway, an immense sea creature so large it could be mistaken for an island but in truth was alive. He claimed that sailors who ventured too close would be pulled under by the monster's powerful currents. Modern science, of course, tries to explain the legend. Many believe the Kraken was inspired by sightings of giant squids, real animals that can grow over 30 feet long and live in the ocean's depths. Yet some modern accounts describe creatures far larger than any squid ever officially recorded. And that's where the mystery lingers. Is the Kraken merely a sailor's exaggerated tale, or does something still dwell in the deep, something so huge and powerful we prefer to believe it's just a legend? On the quietest nights, in remote villages and isolated farms, frightening stories begin to circulate. Animals are found dead, completely drained of blood, strange marks on their necks, and no clear tracks of the predator. This is how the legend of the Chupacabra was born, one of the most enigmatic and feared creatures in all of the Americas. The name Chupacabra comes directly from the reported attacks goats, chickens, and other small animals found dead, apparently exsanguinated. The first documented wave of cases occurred in Puerto Rico in the 1990s, when dozens of animals were mysteriously killed. Witnesses described a creature about 3 feet tall, with grayish or greenish skin, large glowing eyes, spines down its back, and an unusual hopping movement, like a kangaroo. Since then, sightings and attacks attributed to the Chupacabra have been reported in Mexico, the United States, Brazil, and other Latin American countries. In 2007, a Texas rancher claimed to have shot an animal that perfectly matched the descriptions: hairless, with dark skin and sharp teeth. The case made headlines, but later analysis suggested it could have been a coyote suffering from severe mange. Still, the mystery persists. Many attacks remain unexplained, and descriptions stay strikingly consistent across distant regions. Is the Chupacabra simply a mix of common predators, disease, and mass hysteria? Or is there truly a nocturnal, stealthy, intelligent creature hunting in the shadows, vanishing before we can trace its origin? In the most remote regions of Australia, where swamps and lagoons are surrounded by dense vegetation and the silence is broken only by the sounds of nocturnal animals, locals speak of a creature that has never been captured, yet many swear they've seen it. Its name is Bunyip, a legend deeply rooted in Aboriginal tradition that still inspires fear and curiosity today. The Bunyip's description varies perhaps because no one has seen it long enough to detail it completely. Some accounts describe a creature the size of a hippo, with a bulky body, rounded head, and large glowing eyes that seem to reflect the moonlight. Others speak of an elongated snout, sharp fangs, and a piercing, eerie cry that echoes through the night. The first recorded mentions come from Aboriginal warnings to stay away from certain freshwater areas at night, lest the bunyip rise from the depths to attack. In the 19th century, European explorers also claimed to hear strange sounds from the swamps and even to have found bones they said belonged to no known animal. Science tries to explain the myth by suggesting the bunyip may have been inspired by seals that occasionally swam upriver, or by fossils of prehistoric animals found in the area. Still, nothing explains the more recent reports from fishermen and locals who claim to have seen something large moving quickly under the water, far too big for a fish or crocodile. Could the bunyip simply be a story passed down through generations, or is there something hidden in the Australian wetlands, a creature that prefers the solitude of dark waters, watching from a distance, waiting to strike? Now picture looking up at the sky and seeing a massive shadow cutting through the clouds, so big you wonder for a moment if it's just a bird or something far older. This is the image of the thunderbird, a legendary creature in the folklore of many indigenous peoples of North America. Described as a colossal bird with a wingspan that could exceed 20 feet, the thunderbird is said to have dark feathers and piercing eyes that glow during storms. According to legend, each flap of its wings produced thunder, and lightning shot from its eyes. It wasn't just a bird, it was a supernatural being, feared and revered as a guardian and messenger of the gods. Oral traditions tell that the thunderbird protected humans from evil spirits and controlled the forces of nature, bringing rain during droughts and driving away enemies. Strangely enough, reports of similar giant birds persist even in modern times. One famous case occurred in 1977 in Illinois, when two children claimed to be chased by an enormous bird, and one of them was even lifted off the ground for a few seconds before being dropped. Science suggests these sightings could be misidentifications of large raptors like the Andean condor or the bald eagle, though neither comes close to the size described in the stories. Others believe the thunderbird could be a prehistoric survivor, like the extinct Argentavis magnificens, which lived millions of years ago and had wings over 23 feet wide. Maybe the thunderbird is just a legend meant to explain awe-inspiring natural phenomena. Or maybe, somewhere remote, something immense still soars above us, hidden in the clouds, waiting for the next storm to reveal itself. Amid the frozen, isolated forests of northern United States and Canada lies a legend that blends horror with human tragedy, the Wendigo. Found in the folklore of Algonquian peoples, it's described as a tall, skeletal figure with gray or pale skin, sunken eyes, and an insatiable hunger for human flesh. According to the stories, the Wendigo originated from people who, during brutal winters, resorted to cannibalism to survive. Eating human flesh cursed them, transforming them into monsters eternally starving, never able to be satisfied. Its presence is said to be accompanied by icy winds and a suffocating sense of dread before it strikes. Historical accounts from 19th-century hunters and explorers mention strange encounters in the woods, extremely thin human-like figures moving with unnatural speed, producing a sound somewhere between a scream and a distant roar. In some cases, entire villages claimed to be under a Wendigo curse, where people vanished without a trace. Modern science interprets the legend as a reflection of psychological and cultural conditions, pointing to what's called Wendigo psychosis, a mental state described in medical records in which a person believed they were turning into the creature and craved human flesh. But for many, these explanations don't erase the fear of something real lurking in the forest shadows. Is the Wendigo merely a metaphor for human hunger and desperation? Or, in the long, frozen nights of the north, is something out there, waiting for someone to lose their way never to return? In the rivers and lakes of Southeast Asia, especially in Thailand, Cambodia, and India there's an ancient legend about powerful beings known as Nagas, giant water serpents, some with multiple heads, others with human traits and majestic appearances. According to Hindu and Buddhist traditions, the Nagas aren't just animals, they are spiritual guardians of the waters, protectors of sacred treasures, and messengers between the human and divine realms. They are believed to live in underwater kingdoms, invisible to ordinary eyes, but capable of revealing themselves when they choose. Legends say the Mekong River, for example, is home to a colossal Naga responsible for the mysterious Mekong fireballs, glowing orbs that rise from the water and ascend into the sky, witnessed by thousands each year. Science tries to explain the phenomenon as flammable gas released from the riverbed, but locals believe it is the Nagas sending messages to the human world. Ancient texts describe the Nagas as warriors and magicians, able to control rain, guard temples, and punish those who pollute or disrespect sacred waters. Though there's no physical proof they exist, fishermen and monks still claim to have seen huge shadows gliding beneath the surface and strange sounds echoing through the night. Perhaps the Naga is simply a symbol of reverence for nature and the river's power, or perhaps, in the silent depths, lives a creature as ancient as the waters it protects. Deep in the tropical rainforests of the Congo Basin, where vast rivers and impenetrable swamps create a true natural labyrinth, there's a legend that has inspired awe and wonder for over a century: the Mokombembe. For many, it's more than just a story, it's proof that dinosaurs may not have completely vanished. Described as a huge animal with a bulky body, long tail, and long neck, the Mokombembe resembles a sauropod, a plant-eating dinosaur that lived millions of years ago. Local accounts say it's grayish or reddish-brown, with thick hairless skin, and spends most of its time in the water, emerging only to feed on riverside vegetation. The first written mentions appeared in the early 20th century, from missionaries and explorers who heard the stories from native peoples. Many claim to have seen the creature, even drawing its shape in maps and tribal records. In 1980, an expedition led by American explorer Herman Regusters claimed to have recorded mysterious sounds and spotted a massive silhouette crossing a river. Images and audio that still divide opinions. Scientists suggest the sightings could be misidentified hippos, crocodiles, or even floating logs. But that explanation doesn't satisfy everyone, especially since the descriptions are strikingly consistent among witnesses who've never met each other. Is the Mokombembe merely a legend fueled by imagination and geographic isolation? Or could a prehistoric survivor still dwell in the murky depths of the Congo, silent and patient, avoiding human eyes for centuries? These creatures might be nothing more than the product of collective imagination, or they could be survivors from a distant past, choosing to remain hidden. And do you believe some of these legends still walk or swim among us? Write in the comments which one impressed you most, and share this video with anyone who loves mysteries. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next chapters of this journey into the unknown. Who knows, the next creature might already be closer than we think.